What's up? It's Wednesday. Happy Wednesday to you. Thank you for being with us today as we wrap up our series on the 10 Commandments. So again, this is Thankfulness Week. So I want to hear what you are thankful for today. And if you will share in the comments what you are thankful for, you get a quarter for quarter team game. So jump in on that and share that. We can rejoice together. Just let me know who's here. I kind of see a number of who's watching, but I want to hear from everybody. What are you thankful for today? Let's share that together. So I see Luke has checked in already. He's thankful for pillows. I like that. I'm getting texts coming in. Eric is thankful for lightning. Alec is thankful for thunder. So funny story. I am also thankful for thunder. When I got to work this morning, I cracked the windows in the van so that my car didn't get crazy hot while it was out in the parking lot. And then about like 11 o'clock, I heard a huge clap of thunder, which told me that it's probably raining or getting ready to. So I sprinted to my car in the rain and closed the window. So I'm thankful for that thunder so that, there wasn't even more water in my car. Whatever. Anyway, so what are you thankful for today? Share that with us in the comments for a quarter. All right, let's get to quarter teen games. All right. So last time, Monday was the anniversary of when Shakespeare's Globe Theatre in London burned down. It was a lot longer ago than you guys thought. And didn't get a ton of guesses. If you are watching and you hear these questions, throw out a guess. There is no harm in getting it wrong. Whoever gets closest gets a quarter. It's super simple. So join in with us with your guess. So for that one, I only got 3 guesses. Anyway, so the actual answer was 1613, way back. The closest was still more than 200 years away. Luke had it at 1817. So Luke gets a quarter added to his total for that. So, all right. So then for today, we got 1 quarter on the line for today's question. Today is the anniversary of the beginning of the Battle of Gettysburg. Okay. So for today's question, 1 quarter on the line. This was the bloodiest battle, the deadliest battle in the American Civil War. How many people died in the Battle of Gettysburg? That's the question for today. So throw out a guess for how many people you think passed away from both sides combined in the Battle of Gettysburg all the way back. Started on this date in 1863. So let me know what you guys think about that. How many people you think how many soldiers were killed as a result of that battle. So leave a comment here today and let me know how many you think that is. So anyway, all right, so that's it for that. Let's get into our devotion. Our final one, like I said, on the 10 commandments. So it is do not covet, okay? Do not covet. So again, like with a lot of these last ones, I think we've got a pretty good idea of what it means, but I want to dig a little deeper to give us an idea of how we can do that, right? So when we talk about do not covet, this is a desire for something that belongs to someone else, right? And I think, most of you guys have probably been in church long enough to know that. I know that covet is not a word that we use in everyday life a ton, but we probably know enough to know that that's what it's talking about, right? We're not looking at something that somebody else has and desiring that. And I don't, look, this is not super strict, but the word that's used here really sort of has this idea of an obsession behind it. This is something that is really at the heart, the core of us, where we are desperate for what somebody else has. So we don't want to be people who are greedy and always wanting what somebody else has. So I want to look at a couple of verses from the New Testament today to help us understand this. That I think will give us a good picture of, okay, how do I obey this commandment? So the first one comes from the book of Luke, and it's Jesus speaking, as we might expect from coming from one of the Gospels. But Luke 12:15 says, and he said to them, take care and be on your guard against all covetousness, for one's life does not consist in the abundance of his possessions. So 2 things here. Jesus says, be on your guard. This is something that is going to creep up in our lives, in our mind, and in our heart. we need to be on our guard and make sure that we are not falling into this trap of covetousness. And in a world and in a culture that really values material possessions and material wealth, it is really easy for us to fall into that trap of coveting what other people have. So be on your guard against that. Be aware that that is a trap we can fall into. But the other thing he says is life does not consist in the abundance of possessions. Too often we overvalue our stuff. And Jesus says that is not what life is about. We talked the other day, I think it was in our lesson on Do Not Steal, about Matthew 6, and where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. Do not think that that's what life is about. It's about so much more than that. So another verse that I want to look at quickly, Colossians chapter 3, verse 5 says, put to death, therefore, what is earthly in you, sexual immorality, impurity, passion, evil desire, and covetousness. If you have a different translation, the NIV, I think, says greed there, very similar idea. Covetousness, which is idolatry. When we think about greed, when we think about coveting, we are putting material wealth, we are putting stuff above God. That is idolatry, and that is not where we want to be. So we want to, again, as Jesus told us, be on our guard against it. This is not just something like, it's number 10. It's not that big a deal. It is a big deal, and we want to be careful about that. So one last verse to look at as we wrap up today. This is from the book of Hebrews, chapter 13, verse 5, and it says, keep your life free from love of money, and be content with what you have. For he has said, I will never leave you nor forsake you. Keep your life free from the love of money, the love of stuff, the love of wealth, okay? And be content with what you have. That's the key. We can talk all day about what not to do, and that's a legitimate discussion. We want to be aware of those things. The flip side of this is, what do I do? What's the positive thing, positive way, positive attitude for me to approach this life and approach stuff, approach wealth? Be content with what you have. And I think going right along with that and right along with what we've been talking about a little bit this week and emphasizing is thankfulness. Thankfulness. What can we do to ward off, to be on our guard against being covetous? It's being content with what we have and being thankful to God for the things that we have. If we will approach life, approach things with that mindset, with that perspective, with that heart attitude, we're going to be in good shape, and that's going to help us to ward off covetousness. So anyway, that's it for today. Remember, your question for quarter team games is how many soldiers passed away in the Battle of Gettysburg? So if you want to get in on this question for the chance to earn a quarter for that, let me know your guess for that. We've got our Zoom meeting tonight at 6:30 as we wrap up 1 Peter. And then starting on Friday, new series on the 12 apostles. I'm really looking forward to digging into that with you all. So hopefully you will join us Friday at 3. So that's it for today. Let me know your guesses, and we will see you hopefully tonight and again on Friday. Love you guys. We'll talk to you later.